Well, welcome everybody. It's nice to be able to see some of you tonight. Thanks for being here. We are happy that we can at least have this format that we can recognize some of our students for their outstanding achievements during the course of the spring semester, such that it was obviously we got cut off halfway, but we had some great work going on up until that point that we wanted to recognize the kids for. We are fortunate that I think we have more of our instructional staff with us tonight than we maybe ever have, and maybe that part is actually the fortunate function, or the fortunate part of having a virtual awards night. This awards presentation is being recorded, so we will be posting that up later to, I imagine, YouTube. So if you know people who didn't see it and want to take a look, they can access that later. And I'm sure that a link will be advertised at a later date as to how you can reach that. At this point, we're going to just get straight into things. Unfortunately, normally we have the opportunity to recognize all the kids one by one. We call them up on stage for each of the ensembles, and of course we don't have that ability or that function to do that this time. We do want everyone to know how much we appreciate all the efforts that they've made, and the kids, and for all the hard work that they did throughout the whole year. But again, as this award is particularly for spring awards, mostly we're recognizing our second semester ensembles. The first category that we're going to announce tonight is we're going to recognize our pipe band. And for that, I am going to turn the time over to Mr. Capaldo so that he can recognize some of our outstanding achievements in the pipe band.
Good evening, everybody. And as Mr. Miranda said, it is so nice to see you, so many of you. I really, though, wish that we could actually see you in person, but it is as it is. Mrs. C mentioned that this is our first ever virtual awards, and I would just like to add, I hope it's our last, because it would be very, very nice, obviously, being in person. Let's move right ahead here. The pipe band, as you know, is a very visible part of the program, and really is the face of the band and the school to the community. So it's a great group, and prior to the shutdown, it was doing a lot of nice community events as well as some competitions. So we do have the most improved pipe band member, and this year's recipient is Miss Olivia Hutchinson. So I can speak personally about Olivia. She's in the stage band, and I will tell you this, she is a really great young lady. She works extremely hard. She's very polite. She asks questions. She wants to know more all the time. Just really a very nice person and a hard worker. She wants to get better all the time. Now, in the words of the pipe instructor, Andrew Kupal, he says, Olivia has really stepped up into the role of pipe sergeant, filling in where necessary and helping to teach the new students. So congratulations, Olivia Hutchinson, most improved pipe band. Next, we're going to move to the most outstanding pipe band member. And this year's recipient is Mr. Sean Stewart. Sean is the nicest kid. He always comes up and says hi to me, no matter where we are. He goes out of his way to say hello, how are you? And again, he's a hard worker. He's always trying to do his best, and so we're very proud of him. In the words of Andrew, Sean has shown tremendous dedication to the band all 4 years, and certainly this past year, even broadening his skills by taking up snare drumming in addition to bass drumming. So again, congratulations, most outstanding pipe band member, Sean Stewart. At this time, I'd like to turn the forum over to Mr. Peter Gomez, who will be talking about Winter Guard.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's being safe and happy I know that we've been really close with our families and things like that, and it's been a really good time for my family as well. But I do miss all of our students. As most teachers, that's why we become teachers, so we can have the energy of all the students and positivity and watching them grow and all of that great stuff. So we have a couple of awards to give to the winner section of our color guard. We're going to start off with some A-Guard awards, which is our JV team. And the most improved for A-Guard is Zaria Dilworth. Zaria is an amazing person. She's always positive. She comes in ready to work and learn something new, to the point that she became a soloist on rifle. And as you know, many of our freshmen didn't do rifle on the field, so they improved really, really fast. And she's just a really great student and an asset to our program. We have outstanding performer and member. It will be going to Mackenzie Modell. Mackenzie is just an amazing, positive energy person and really go-getter, and just fights for every single bit of choreography she can do, and just asks a lot of questions. She also became our A-Guard captain alongside with Michaela. So that was a really tough call between the two, but Mackenzie showed a lot of positivity and promise, and both of them did. But Mackenzie is always a great person that comes and asks questions about technique and about protocols and things like that. So congrats to Mackenzie. For outstanding, for most improved member for the open guard, which is our varsity guard, we have Emma. Emma is Emma Macias, who is a sophomore this year, made it all the way to the top line, which is the saber line. And I remember when she was trying to toss her first 7, and she finally caught it, and she's like, "Was that it?" I'm like, "Yes." That was awesome. So and then she just kept improving from there. Just a really great, positive person again, always coming to rehearsals ready to work. I do remember when we went to the regional, and we beat Etowanda and Chino Hills, and she just came up to me. She goes, "Were the scores correct?" I'm like, "Yes." And so she really cares a lot about the program. So it's really awesome to see these kids grow from when I first saw them, from their eighth grade year to where they're at right now. It's just amazing. The outstanding member for the open guard is Riley Renko. Riley is kind of silent but deadly situation. She just does her job and does it really, really amazingly. She was a soloist for the field. She had some really key spots in the production that we had this year with solo spots, and just a pleasant person to be around always. So congratulations to all of those young ladies, and can't wait to see everybody when we get back.
Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to our winter percussion category. And to announce our winter percussion recognitions and awards, we have Weston Amaro and Stephen Herman, our percussion instructors here. So I'll turn the time over to Weston and Stephen.
So everybody, it's nice to see some familiar faces and names in here. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, we had a great group of kids this year. It was a really exciting year. It was my first year taking over as caption head for the percussion, and our biggest goal was just to improve as a group, to move the group forward in a big way, regardless of numbers. And it just so happened the numbers kind of fell into place along the way too. We had a really great field season, and things were moving along really well during winter season. Unfortunately, things happened to where we couldn't finish the season, but I think it's safe to say we met our goal of what we wanted for this year. And I was really happy to see all the improvement. And we had a great group of kids, a big new staff, and I'm just really happy with the way things turned out. So I'm going to throw things over to Stephen now, who's going to give out the awards for the percussion.
Hey everybody, like Weston said, a big staff turnover on the battery side of things, and Just one word that describes, I think, the group this year was just perseverance. And anytime you get used to an educator, you just kind of have a natural flow of things with rehearsals. So when you have a new team of instructors, it kind of disrupts that flow, and it's something that might be uncomfortable for students. But at Upland, they did a really great job of taking in that culture shift and adopting some of the principles that my staff brought to the table, and just trying to grow and adjust and adapt every single day. So really, really proud of the entire percussion section. Had a great fall season, and we're making some really, really good strides in the winter season. So first, we're going to do most improved member, and that goes to Sammy Macias. She was really, really shy in the beginning of the year when we first met the staff, but she was always very, very respectful, and was always attentive in class, and doing her best to improve on a daily basis. And when we talked to the staff, just comparing who she was when we first met her to where she ended up at the beginning of the year, a tremendous amount of growth, and definitely started to come out of her shell a little bit, and did a really, really good job. So we're super, super proud of Sammy. Always a positive attitude and always took criticism in a very constructive way. So proud of her. And next, for our most outstanding member, this goes to someone who's not only talented, but did a really, really great job holding the group together and taking in what the staff was saying, and just always like had an affirmation, and was accepting of that information and just passed it on to everyone else. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do now. And he would do a really great job of bringing everyone in and just keeping everyone on the same page. We had a lot of shifts throughout the year, and he handled all those really, really gracefully. So Osceola Resendez, super proud of you, man. You're a great human being, very well put together, very well spoken. And I'm excited to see what you do in the future. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you, Weston and Stephen, and congratulations to the award recipients so far. Next, we're going to move on into the concert stage portion of our awards, and we're going to move on to symphonic band. And for symphonic band, as many of you know, we had a student teacher with us this year. Mr. Hidalgo was with us, and Mr. Hidalgo is a graduate of Upland High School even, and a graduate of my alma mater, Cal State Fullerton. We're super excited to have him spend time with us and to be with us and work with us this year. And he conducted symphonic band during second semester. So I'm going to turn the time over to Mr. Hidalgo so that he can announce the award recipients for symphonic band.
All right. Hello, everybody. It's good to see a lot of more familiar faces. It's been a long time. I'm really bummed out that we can't see each other in person. So, yeah, I'm glad to see you guys again. Apologize for my super long hair. I need to go get a haircut. So I apologize if you can't see my face. So I just wanted to start off and go to some most improved symphonic band. Very first person, I wanted to give it to Trygve Givens. Trygve Givens, he did really awesome. For those who were listening in class, every time we would go down the line or we would have certain sections play, I would always hear his sound giving that good support that we all needed. Always had his part down, always asked questions, and always kept in check with me and Mr. Miranda for not only learning bari sax during fall season, but switching over to bassoon and excelling on both instruments. So I think that's worth a lot of merit, and I think he deserves this reward very, very much. All right, so for the next one, I decided to give it to Sean Cleland. He did really, really well this semester. I know he just started off on tuba like for this year, brand new, and he just quickly excelled. Mr. Miranda, we were keeping tabs on him, and he's been doing nothing but progressing. Super great attitude in rehearsals. Not only good in rehearsals, but he gave that good tuba sound that we all needed, and it was awesome. So I really, really appreciate it, and I congratulate you a lot, John. All right, cool. And then for the next one, let's go to outstanding symphonic band member. First one that I wanted to give was to Alexis Salen. So I gave this award to Alexis because I felt that she played a very important role for the music that we played for this season. It was a bit hard. She decided to take up piccolo and she strived on it. It was her first year playing piccolo and she did nothing but excel on it. She was very strong. Piccolo is very hard. For those of you who aren't aware, it is very, very hard. And I've only heard very few piccolo players, even in Cal State Fullerton. So the fact that she was able to pick it up and hold her own was nothing but admirable. So, and also good attitude in class. So I wanted to give her that award. So very well done. All right. So for the next one would be for Kimberly Puerto. So I decided to give her, I could see her reacting in the camera right here. It's pretty funny. So I gave this award to Kimberly Puerto because she not only did she serve as, I think she just served as a general good leader for her section. I know the trumpet section were dealt with a lot on their plate for the music that we chose for Belgian paratroopers. That was just a lot on their plate, and they held it down really well. They've progressed so much, but Kimberly Puerto kind of guided them into the right direction and always kept in check with me and made sure that I was on my stuff as well. Helped me become better as well as a director. Just kind of like an example of what most teachers need in their students is one that will collaborate with you and tell you, oh, I think I'm hearing this. And you're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening. And they take that into consideration. And that made my job a lot easier. And I hope it made your guys's bearing me being on the podium a lot easier. So that's it for all my awards. I decided to do 2 for each. So thank you very much. And I really do appreciate that you guys let me take over Symphonic Band. It's, especially for the seniors out there, I really, really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hidalgo. Next, we will be moving to stage band. And so I'm going to turn the time back over to Mr. Capalbo to announce those awards.
Thank you, Mr. Miranda. And also thank you, Mr. Hidalgo. You did a great job. I loved watching you progress over the year. It was great. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you.
So we're going to move to the Stage Band Awards. Stage Band is our second of 2 jazz bands. And we can call it maybe the training jazz band, but really it's a band that can hold its own. We've had adjudicators in the past tell us that, boy, you know, most schools would really like to have the stage band as their first band, not just their second band. So it's always a good group. This year, as you know, we were cut short, but fortunately, the band did get to compete one time. And they competed at the Western States Jazz Festival, and they took first place. So I'm very proud of them in that regard. We have the category of Most Improved Stage Band Member. And this year we have 2 recipients. And so we will start with, this is Most Improved, Mr. Connor Stewart. Connor came into the year as our only pianist in stage band, which really is a daunting task. The rhythm section and / band depend on the piano for the chords. Connor took it upon himself to take jazz piano lessons. He's practiced very hard and really, really has progressed. And so much so that he is now next year going to be in the top band. So congratulations, Connor, Most Improved recipient number 1. In no particular order, of course, but good job. Our second recipient is Kimberly Galvez. Kimberly comes from a musically talented family, and it comes as no surprise to me that she too is very talented. In addition to the fact that she works very hard at what she does and takes music very seriously. Throughout the year, she kept improving, and she took a leadership role in the trumpet section. At the end, you know, right before we were out, she was pushing everybody and really kind of pushing the whole band. So what a great young lady, and she too is also moving up to the top band for next year. So congratulations, Kimberly Galvez. The next set of awards goes for stage band, our outstanding stage band member. And again, you know what, it's been so hard to pick just one person. So there are 2 recipients this year as well. Our first recipient is Mr. Louis Lara. I've had the privilege of working with Louis Lara since he was in 7th grade. By the way, he looked pretty much the same, just a lot shorter. I've got to watch him grow as a musician and as a young man. Louis has done a great job drumming, and he keeps getting better and better. I'm really excited to see what he can do in his senior year next year. Congrats, Louis. Our next recipient is Miss Audrey Lang. Like Louis, I am fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with Audrey since she was in junior high. She's a tenacious musician. She goes after it with everything she has, and she really loves to perform. Audrey has come a long way this year. She's learned to play the upright bass, and she even has learned to improvise. I was very proud of her that she's starting to learn and spread her wings a bit. So I'm really, again, looking forward to see what she can do next year. Congratulations, Audrey. Now we're going to move to the jazz ensemble. I would like to say a couple words about jazz ensemble. The band was great this year. They worked really hard, and they really were starting to come together as a group musically, and also really coming together as people. And that's really important as a group of musicians. If you're fighting amongst each other, it's hard to make good music. But this group was really starting to gel, and unfortunately, they were cut short. We got to perform at our own jazz festival, and it was great, but we never got to compete officially. So that was a very bitter pill. As a matter of fact, as the season went on, you know, we were told at first we were going to come back. We were going to come back after April, or the first part of April. And so we thought, okay, we'll get to go to a competition. And that didn't happen. Then it got pushed off later. And I was signing us up for competitions right and left. And unfortunately, we just never did get to compete. I will say this, though. I'm very proud of the group they auditioned for and made the Monterey Jazz Festival Next Generation Festival for the 5th year in a row. So congratulations to them on that. And, you know, it was a great year. So let's move on to Most Improved Jazz Ensemble. Again, there are 2 recipients. The first one is Miss Raquel Martinez. Raquel is a very quiet individual, so it's really easy to kind of underestimate her. But she's very talented and hardworking musician. Every year that I have worked with her, she has continued to improve. She did a fantastic job playing piano this year, and also she stepped into the role of playing bass clarinet. We will certainly miss her next year. Congrats, Raquel. Our next recipient is Mr. Lucas Morales. Lucas is a character. He is always very, very inquisitive. Lucas stepped into the jazz ensemble this year, and he was asked to play in the shadow of our other bass player, Riley. But you know what? He never complained. He continued to improve. Lucas is the kind of person who has a thirst for knowledge. He's always wants to be the best that he can be. And he's succeeding. I really can't wait to see what he can do next year as well. Congratulations, Lucas. Next category would be our Outstanding Jazz Ensemble member. I'm very pleased to announce that our outstanding member for 2020 is Miss Kimberly Puerto. There she is. You know, I've known Kimberly for a long time. As a matter of fact, I predicted way back in junior high school, she was at Upland Junior High, and I was teaching her in the 7th grade jazz band. I predicted that Kimberly was destined for great things. She's always been a leader and someone that her peers could look up to. If I had all night, I could just begin to list her accomplishments. But we don't. So this year in the jazz ensemble, I asked her to do a lot. She stepped up and she did a great job with it. As a matter of fact, she played lead trumpet and she was a mommy to the trumpet section. As a matter of fact, she was kind of a mommy to the whole band. She kept everybody going in the right direction. If things got negative, she was there pushing. And she, you know, I really depended on her. She kept working even through the nightmare of distance learning. She was one of the very few seniors that logged on and did the stuff. So, you know what, Kimberly, congratulations. We're going to miss you terribly. You better come back and visit. And that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Miranda for the Wind Ensemble Awards.
Thank you, Mr. Capalbo. Congratulations, all Jazz Ensemble Award winners. Yes, next, as we move into the Wind Ensemble category, this, of course, is our top performing concert band. They are a fantastically talented group of young people, just amazing. And they perform at the highest levels, and this year was no different. They were headed in a real positive direction, and we, as everybody else, of course, as we've been saying, as you know, we all got cut short. We were fortunate enough to be able to perform at one festival at RCC, and we had a few more things on our plate ahead of us, but we at least got to perform there, and which is nice because that's really a first-class theater concert hall to perform in. So that was nice. They did a great job for their first performance out, and I was very excited about where our next adjudicated performance was going to take us, because we were poised to be in a really strong place to just really be super successful once we got to SCSBOA Festival. But things turned out as it did. Wind Ensemble plays really just the highest caliber of wind band music, music that is many times music that is considered to be collegiate level literature, and this year was no different. As a matter of fact, at least one of the things we were playing, most high school bands would think really impossible to pull off and to perform, and they were well on their way to being very, very outstanding at it. So with that, it takes us into our first category that we're going to award, and I'm going to announce or ask that well, I'm not sure that I think I want to talk about both these people at the same time, because they both were very similar. Our first recipient for Most Improved is Jessica Alvarez. Jessica is just such a sweet, wonderful girl. She's a hard worker, and is just super friendly and super dedicated, and worked extremely hard at the music that we were given. The next award recipient for this, we have a tie, is Lorelei Wells, who again, I can say the same thing about. Just a sweet, nice, wonderful student who works super hard. And actually, kind of like Kimberly, Lorelei has a little bit of that mommy character to her also. She's always kind of overseeing the kids around her and trying to help them out. Now, I will say that both Jessica and Lorelei worked so hard at this one piece that we were working on, Aurora Awakes. Actually, I came to both of them beforehand and said, okay, I would really like to do this piece. I think we can do this, but the mallet parts are just off the hook difficult. So take a look at it and see what you think. Is this possible for us to pull off? And they went out and they took a look at it, and they played through it during first period, during the percussion class, and they came back and they were like, oh, we want to do this. We have to do, yeah, we can do this. We can do it. You know, trust us. We're going to work super hard. And I'm like, well, okay, let's try it. And they did. They busted their rear ends daily on working on this piece. They probably worked harder than just about anybody else in the band in making this come off. And rightly so, because this piece was really very dependent on those two mallet parts happening. It was a focal point of the piece. Every day during first period, after Wind Ensemble rehearsal during first period, they were almost every day they were working on this. When they weren't working on this, they were working on their winter percussion music. So they worked super hard, and they came a long way, and they pulled it off very nicely at our first performance. So I'm just super excited about the hard work that they did. I'm just disappointed that we couldn't see what else that they had in store for them, because we were getting ready to work on another piece that had quite a bit of percussion involvement, and I know they would have been outstanding on that too. So congratulations to both Lorelei and Jessica for a wonderful performance and effort during the course of the season for Wind Ensemble. The next award we're giving is our Outstanding Member of the Year for this year, and that award is going to go to Noah Taylor. Noah is a very, very smart, very talented young man. He is an outstanding talent. He's somewhat of a natural talent, but at the same time, with that, he doesn't just rely on that. He works very, very hard at what he does. He's very accomplished both in the jazz arena, and actually does a very nice job and very accomplished in the symphonic, the classical arena as well. Over the last 4 years, he's worked very hard at his trumpet playing, but I would say especially this year, besides practicing at home, I know that he had a TA period during second period, and he was in the practice room almost every day, practicing during the whole period, practicing trumpet, and not just practicing his music, but practicing becoming a better musician, becoming a better trumpet player. And it really showed, because his quality of playing trumpet just skyrocketed this year. He had a few prominent solos during the course of the season. And the other thing that I think he did an outstanding job with is he, as a section leader, he did a wonderful job keeping the trumpets on track and running sectionals and making sure that they were prepared to play their music. So I'm very pleased and proud to give Noah Taylor Outstanding Member of the Year for Wind Ensemble this year. Okay, and the next category, as you see, is the Woody Herman Award, and that's a jazz award. So I will turn the time back over to Mr. Capaldo.
Thank you, Mr. Miranda. A little bit about the Woody Herman Award. The Woody Herman Jazz Award was created in 1988, shortly after Herman's death, to honor outstanding jazz students. From 1936 to 1987, Woody Herman's big bands were popular and explosive. He changed bands and styles over the years. The first herd was known as the fiery playing, the second herd for bebop, and the third herd for its driving, swinging jazz. About music, Herman said, "I'm not interested in nostalgia. I'm selling excitement. A new tier to the high school recipients of this award is selected by the jazz ensemble director." So this is an award that actually we can have multiple recipients, and your name will go on a perpetual plaque. I think we have it, or if not, we have to get it. But you'll also get your own plaque as well. So we have 5 recipients, and the first one is Miss Abigail Barrett. Abby has always been a standout in the jazz bands. She's a very talented trombone player, playing both lead trombone and improvising. In addition to her trombone playing, she's also a very talented singer. She has on many occasions impressed audiences with her singing in the big band. And last I heard, Abby will be going to Cal State Long Beach to pursue music. So we wish the best to her. Our second recipient is Jordan Buckner. And Jordan actually was in the same Upland Junior High jazz band as Kimberly when I started there at Upland Junior High. And I got to work with her. You know, when I think back to that band and how much Jordan has grown as a musician and as a person as well, it just amazes me. Jordan, has been very determined over the years and has worked really, really hard so that she could always play her parts. And you know what? She did. Congratulations, Jordan Buckner. Our third recipient will be Mr. Seth Clark. Seth is the drummer in the A band. So Seth has been a standout musician from the beginning. He has a natural talent, and the beauty of it is he works hard at it. He just keeps getting better and better and better over the years. This year, he's been drumming at an incredibly high level. And I'm sure if he pursues it, Seth will have a great career in music. So I hope he keeps up with it, and we're certainly going to miss him. Congratulations, Seth. Our fourth recipient is Mr. Jesse McIntyre. Oh my gosh, Jesse is a success story. He was actually once I hope you don't mind me saying this, Jesse, he was once the brunt of Mr. Lenahan's fury. Mr. Lenahan is the guy that records our jazz band for for the Monterey auditions. And there was one year that Mr. Linehan was just kept playing back Jesse's tracks and making an example of him. But you know, the good news is this: he kept working and working and getting better and better and better. And he's done a fantastic job this year. I mean, when he was called on to play his parts, he did it. No problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, real quickly, Jesse was the guy that in the beginning of his career here at the high school, we had to say, play louder, play louder, play louder. We could never hear him. But at the end, oh my gosh, it was play softer, play softer, play softer. So good job. I'm very proud of Mr. Jesse McIntyre. And our last recipient of the Woody Herman Award for this year is Mr. Riley Martinez. Riley is a fantastic and very versatile musician. He can play French horn. He can play the bass. He plays the bass in the jazz band, but he also plays piano, and I think he plays guitar as well. So he excels at whatever he chooses. It has been great to witness him mature as a musician. His improvisation this year really blossomed, and he was really, to be honest, a great asset to the band. I wish we could have went and competed so that he could have won all those awards, but you know what happened. Anyway, congratulations, Mr. Riley Martinez. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Miranda for the Patrick Gilmore Awards.
Thank you, Mr. Capalbo. The Patrick Gilmore Award is an award that we can give to multiple students. And again, like the Herman Award and actually the remaining awards we have, they're typically, or I think they're even supposed to be senior awards. Mr. Capalbo gave you a little bit of the background of Woody Herman and that award, and just a little bit about Patrick Gilmore. He was one of the most well-known, renowned band leaders of the mid to late 19th century. In 1891, he played for some of Thomas Edison's first commercial recordings. Musically, he was the first arranger to set brass instruments against reeds, which remains obviously the basis for wind band orchestration. And his arrangements of contemporary classics did a great deal to familiarize the American people with the works of the great European musical masters. So we have a number of students. I know Mr. Capalbo is the same way. I wish we could give every student an award, but we've got to narrow it down, and sometimes it's very difficult. But we try, and our first award recipient for the Patrick Gilmore Award is Abigail Barrett. We've heard a little bit about Abby prior to this. She's an outstanding musician and super dedicated to her music. And Abby has played in numerous honor bands and brought recognition to Upland by taking her talents and bringing them farther out in the community, representing Upland in the All Southern High School Honor Wind Ensemble. And and also she is going on to be a music major at Cal State Long Beach, I believe, unless that's changed, but that's the last I heard. So congratulations, Abby. Our next recipient of the Gilmore Awards is Riley Martinez. As you heard from Mr. Capalbo, he is a French horn player in wind ensemble, and he mentioned how he plays multiple instruments, and he's an outstanding French horn player. Again, has performed in numerous various honor bands and other outside organizations, from the Claremont Young Musicians Orchestra to the All Southern California Honor Band, and even was in the All-State Honor Band on French horn. So extremely talented to play at that level, especially an instrument as difficult as French horn, which is a notoriously difficult instrument, to be that good at that horn and bass. So congratulations, Riley. Next, we have the next recipient is Raquel Martinez, and as Mr. Capalbo indicated, just a quiet young lady, but just with the greatest attitude, with just the good dedication, and works really hard to be good at what she does. She was one of these people that she came in, she did a good job, but she decided she didn't want to just do a good job. She wanted to be really, really good. And so at that point, I saw something click and a switch turn on, and she just skyrocketed in her bass clarinet playing and became an outstanding bass clarinet player, was in county honor band, and this year was the principal bass clarinet in county honor band. So we will miss her greatly, and her nice, strong low reed playing and leadership in that area. So congratulations, Raquel. Our next recipient of the Gilmore Award is Noah Taylor. I've already spoke on Noah quite a bit tonight, but we are going to be sad to see him go. He's been a great talent for us over the last 4 years and was a great leadership for the trumpet section, and is leaving behind a good legacy behind him in the trumpet section. So congratulations, Noah. Our next recipient is Javen Lazo. Javen plays flute in wind ensemble and has been our principal flutist for the last couple of years. Javen is an outstanding musician and plays with a gorgeous tone, and has represented, again, Upland High School at the county honor band level. And like all these people who have been in county honor band and the various honor bands, they've sat in very high chairs. Javen was second chair in the county honor band. So congratulations, Javen. Our next recipient is Claire Miranda. Claire is a flute player in the wind ensemble also, and an outstanding musician. And I think many of you know her from, besides playing flute, but because of her vocal expertise also. This has actually helped carry her level of musicianship, in that has carried over to her flute playing. She's an outstanding player and an outstanding sight reader, and all those skills work together to improve one or the other. So although Claire's actual first instrument, like many of all these other people, their first instrument is their wind instrument. Her first instrument, of course, is her voice. This is a secondary instrument, and for a secondary instrument, she does a very fine job at that, and has been very dedicated to the wind ensemble and the band program in general over the last 4 years. So congratulations, Claire. And our next recipient for the Patrick Gilmore Award is Ben Roberts. Ben Roberts has done a wonderful job for us as being our principal euphonium player the last couple of years. And he didn't actually start on euphonium. He was actually a trumpet player to start with. And he did a pretty good job as trumpet, but we were in need of more low brass. We were in need of euphonium, and we said, hey, Ben, you're doing a good job on trumpet. We think you could be great on baritone. And so he's like, okay, I'll do it. And he rose really quickly and excelled at it, and did a nice job for us the last 2 years, and actually carrying some significant doing some significant solo work for us in a number of the pieces that we've played over the last 2 years. And so we want to congratulate Benjamin for his dedication to the program and his outstanding musicianship and within the wind ensemble. And those are our Patrick Gilmore Award recipients. Congratulations, one and all. And I will now turn the time over to back to our color guard director, Peter Gomez.
Wow, some pretty amazing musicians. I was just listening to all their accolades. It's pretty phenomenal for high school students. It's pretty amazing. I wanted to give, there's so many great color guard members in our color guard that it's really tough to decide on a director's award. But I really just needed to recognize our color guard captain, Aaliyah. Aaliyah is just a phenomenal performer, an acrobat, just leads by example, doesn't really need to yell or scream at people and all that stuff. I always just tell the color guard, if you have any questions as to how you should be behaving at the moment, just look at your captain. And that's exactly how she is. I'm so proud of her. I hope she continues, as Mr. Capalbo said, with her skills into world-class color guards and things like that. She's just a phenomenal member and a performer. One of the one of the brightest young ladies I've ever had a pleasure of teaching with. Also is really the conduit between me and the team. Just quick messages of where we're going to be at rehearsals, and she acts pretty quickly on it, and she's right there always. Never missed a beat in any of the rehearsals and attendance and things like that. So we're going to miss you a lot, Aaliyah, and hope we get to see you performing in some other great color guards in the future. Thank you.
And at this time, we will, again, we're back to Mr. Capalbo for the announcement of the Louis Armstrong Award.
So thank you, Mr. Miranda. These are our last two awards, and I would like to say a little bit about the Louis Armstrong Award, and Louis Armstrong for that matter. Louis Armstrong was an American jazz musician and singer. He was a trumpet player. Armstrong's influences extend well beyond jazz music, and by the end of his career in the 1960s, he was widely regarded as a profound influence on popular music in general. Lucille Armstrong, his wife, in later years, described his love for people. Louis's greatest personality traits were humility and generosity. He just loved people, and he always tried to understand them too. He was compassionate, generous, and understanding with everyone. He was loved not only for his style, but as a person as well. The Louis Armstrong Award, or sometimes called the King B Award, is the top senior jazz award or highest level interscholastic award given to a musician. It is given out by high schools nationwide in the United States in recognition of outstanding musical achievement and an incredible dedication to the program. Typically, there is only one recipient per high school, and that's the case here. So for this year, I would like to announce that our Louis Armstrong Award winner is Mr. Noah Taylor. Yes, clap everybody, yay. We've already heard a lot about Noah, but let me just add a little bit more. Noah comes from a musical family. As a matter of fact, we've had a few of his siblings in the band. And to be honest, he was not a disappointment when he came in. He's a fantastic trumpet player and soloist. He's been a member of the San Bernardino County Honor Jazz Band, and he's been a member for 2 years in a row of the All Southern California Honor Jazz Band. So he's quite a talented jazz musician. Noah loves music theory and composition. As a matter of fact, he's always talking about it. He loves it. If you ever have a question about music theory, go to Noah. He knows it. I'm disappointed that we couldn't finish our season, because I really think had he gone out there and performed for adjudicators and audience members, they would have been blown away by his improvisational skills and knowledge, and he would have won numerous awards. Unfortunately, it happened. He's composed exercises for the band, and you know, if had the year gone on, I was going to ask him to compose a piece for the band, or at least one of the bands, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But maybe, you know, Noah, if you're listening, if you want to do something, maybe we can play it next year. I'm sure, I don't know what Noah's plans are as far as college next year, but I'm sure Noah will be involved in music throughout his life, and whatever he does with it will be very, very successful. We're going to miss you, Noah, as well as everybody. And just on my closing part, I can't wait to see you guys in person, because it's great to see you on the computer, but it's going to be much better when we're together in person. So again, congratulations, Noah, and thanks. And yeah, back to Mr. Miranda.
Thank you, Mr. Capalbo. And the last award that we're presenting for this evening is the John Philip Sousa Award. Just as like the Louis Armstrong is the highest interscholastic jazz music award, band award that we can offer a high school student, the John Philip Sousa Award is likewise the same in the concert band arena, or the overall band program arena. Many people think of John Philip Sousa as a kind of a marching band kind of personality. John Philip Sousa was actually, he was the conductor of the President's Own United States Marine Band in Washington, D.C., which I tell the kids often is the best concert band in the universe. They are an absolutely phenomenal force. They play with absolute perfection, precision, perfection. They're a tremendous, outstanding artistic force. John Philip Sousa was the conductor of this band, and then after he resigned from the Marine Corps, he went on to have his own professional civilian band that he toured the world with. He played in virtually all parts of the world and was very, very well known in the late 19th, early 20th centuries. Most people consider him to be the March King. Some of the marches that, of course, that we're most familiar with in our day today, even if you're not a musician, are marches such as, of course, the Stars and Stripes Forever and Semper Fidelis, the kind of the Marine Corps slogan. And Washington Post was a very, very famous march in his day. Actually, in his day, that was probably more famous than even the other marches. But this is a prestigious award that only one person can get, and it's kind of a fraternity like the Louis Armstrong in that arena. It's kind of a fraternity of people that if you say that you were a John Philip Sousa Award recipient, that speaks volumes about what kind of band member you were in your school program. So, without further ado, the recipient of the John Philip Sousa Award this year goes to Chloe Tai. Chloe is announced. Yes, clap, clap, clap. I did see Chloe for a second, and there she is. Chloe is an outstanding young woman. She is just the most pleasant person you ever did want to interact with. She's an outstanding musician. She's been our principal clarinet player in the wind ensemble for the last several years. She has been in county honor band numerous times, and I think maybe even from her freshman year all the way through. Can't recall that. Sophomore year. Okay, there we go. She's waving her, holding fingers up to me. But she's an outstanding musician. You've heard her several times on the field during marching band. You have, if you've been to any of our concerts, you've heard her several times playing solo passages and important roles with the wind ensemble, both last year and this year. Chloe is the most easy person to work with. She has a great attitude, and I personally believe that her attitude is super infectious in a positive way to the people around her. We have several individuals in the program that are that way, but I think she is one of the tops in that regard. So we are going to be extremely sad to see her graduate. The other thing that I can say about, she's multi-talented. I almost forgot to say this. She's multi-talented. She's an outstanding artist. Many, if maybe not all of you, know that she has been responsible for the designs of some of our shirts, and has done some of our, actually, I would maybe say some of our best designs for our shirts. So we're very excited about that we've had the opportunity to have her in our program. And much like what Mr. Capalbo said about Noah, I don't know exactly what her plans are. It's been so long since we've seen each other, but as we go forward, but all these students, I know that some of them are going on to be music majors, and most aren't, and that's fine. But I would really hope that many of these people that, first of all of you out there, but especially some of these people that we've talked about tonight, these are some great talents, and I really hope that in some way, shape, or form that you keep up playing, and that you find an opportunity in college to play in a band somewhere and just enjoy it. Just have a good time and enjoy that part of your life, and find an outlet to escape some of the world's pressures. College band life is so different than high school band life. It is completely different. It is, in one way, you're expected to know your parts for sure, but in another way, it's not nearly as intense as having myself and Mr. Capalbo bark at you all the time. So don't be afraid that it's going to be this huge commitment when you join a college band. It isn't, especially if you join a marching band. You know, just have fun with it. Do whatever you can just to keep in contact with your playing. And I know it'll be a great lifelong blessing to you. So again, back to Chloe, thank you very much for all your dedication over the years and your fine example to especially the woodwinds and even more particularly your clarinet section. We will miss you greatly. And again, want to congratulate you. You are among the fraternity of a lot of great musicians. So congratulations, Chloe. I believe that brings us to the end of our awards presentation. Congratulations to all the awards recipients. I wish that we could have had an opportunity to recognize every single person in a way that like we normally do by at least bringing you up on stage and letting people see who you are and how you're associated with each group. And, you know, we always have, you know, so your parents can take pictures and all that great stuff. But hopefully we were able to, in some way, put some closure on the year for you. I do want to express my appreciation to the outgoing booster, in particular booster board, for the fine work and the extreme amount of dedication that they have put in to helping us to be as successful as we could all possibly be, from the instructors to the students. They've put in, aside from, of course, having their own lives and their own families to take care of and their own jobs, they have sacrificed to spend time with all of us collectively as a program and facilitate what we do so that we can be successful as a band program. And I am just so thankful for the program that we've had over the years and for the parents that have made that possible.